Hi, in this video we will analyze Google search results. Oftentimes Google search results can tell us a lot about how Google's algorithm works and how Google thinks about a certain keyword. So for this keyword here, vitamin B12, we simply do a search and we can see that there are a few questions marked up in here. The other thing we can see on the right hand side here is that we have this sponsored section here with products. So Google is not really sure about this term, whether we're after an article about vitamin B12, which is what they're showing here. Health.harvard is certainly an article, or if we're in fact trying to buy something. And then the most important part for me probably in this search result is this little knowledge panel here on the right hand side that we can even click through. And the interesting thing is that Google says the source of this knowledge panel is from Mayo Clinic, and we can click on this here. So what Google is doing with this knowledge panel is trying to answer your question about B12 with the content from other websites. So Google is not creating this content themselves. They're saying it's created by content from Mayo Clinic and others, which of course is a bit problematic, because if you are one of the websites that has created this content and Google just pulls it in here and then just says others, you're not given any credit for the work that you have done, because people might not visit your website. They might just read this, find it enough, and then leave the search results. And that's a trend that we've been seeing lately, that Google is trying to more and more answer all the questions by having more knowledge panels, and that leads to a decrease in the amount of clicks per search. So right now, if I type this in and I read this, then I wouldn't have done a click, right? I haven't clicked on any websites. I've just read this and then gone to YouTube and watched a video about whatever you watch videos about. So you get the idea. By answering questions inside of the search results page, Google essentially reduces the traffic that all websites are getting for this search query. So let's actually spell this correctly, vitamin B12. That could help. Perfect. But the same knowledge panel here comes up. So I wanted to drill down a little bit deeper to actually see where this is coming from. So if we click on symptoms, for example, symptoms are rare but can include fatigue, breathlessness, numbness, poor balance, and so on. So let's find out where they have that from. Google still says from Mayo Clinic. If on Mayo Clinic we search for that text, even just symptoms are rare, but we can't find it, right? Even here on the symptoms and causes page, they have a couple of different pages here, but we can't find this text. So clearly, as Google has pulled this from others, so not Mayo Clinic, which also brings me to the point of where this image here is coming from, because again, if we go to the Mayo Clinic website, there is no image. They're advertising on their page, but there are no images that they've used inside of their content. So where the hell is this image coming from, Google? The answer is that Google has likely pulled it from a completely different website, because Google thinks this image is the best match for the keyword vitamin B12, which means that essentially, okay, if we click source here inside of the image, it just brings us to Google's explanation. But what we can do, if you right click on this and you search for the image, that would tell us what other websites are hosting this same image. So click on this again and we can see Yoga with Kurgan is using this image. Some people seem to have translated the image into other languages. So it is a very popular image used on websites from .vn, probably for Vietnam, to .com.br, probably Brazil. And the point here is that Google finds that this image is the best match, and therefore it created this kind of Frankenstein knowledge graph here on the right side, where it's grabbed information maybe a little bit from Mayo Clinic, but as far as we can tell, mostly from other websites, put it all here into this graph. And because it's Google's own property, if you will, they've given it colorful icons. So really, it really seems like the most interesting thing to look at in those whole search results. In particular, if we type in deficiency, anything around deficiency, this is by far the most interesting thing to look at here in those search results. So we want to keep this video short. I just wanted to show you how Google search results work quickly. The other thing we can look at is the order of videos, shopping, news, and images. Google will switch those up depending on what type of search query you type in. So just a quick introduction to a sort of more advanced and recent feature of the Google search results page, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Post any questions below so we can talk about this topic. Thank you.